So what?
Today's the 5th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I'm messed up because I wasn't here yesterday.
I didn't know because it just said 11:19.
Well, that's because I just had to make a new chapter template thing. You guys are oh so insightful. So, every year I like to offer little things for this class because you guys are so small and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It wouldn't cost me that much. So, I will offer up buying us like a pizza lunch, something where it's not like I have to spend $10 on each of you, right? So something that we could share, something family style, but not just for free, right? I'm not just gonna like, hey, I'm such a nice guy. Do you want some lunch? Because of course you would want some lunch. Yeah, well, we can't all be Mr. Estes, can we? So, here's our task. Today, we are investigating parabolas. So if you want a header, you can either head it with parabola investigations, or investigating parabolas, or describing a parabola, or investigating the graphs of quadratic functions if you want to write a really long header. Quadratic functions are parabolas, right? Parabola. Seriously, just break the word in half. Parabola. Oh, we will circle back around to that. Yes. So, actually, let me pause what I was just about to say, and let's plan out the week. Let me get my plan book out.
Wait, do you know when we're going to have the test?
That's what you guys need to tell me. Tomorrow. So, in my handy dandy Phoenix planner.
Oh, wait, I also need to talk to you, like, the...
You guys are really good at being ADD. I love it, but let's talk about one thing at a time.
Okay, the math one.
No, we're talking about this week right now. Then we can move on to another topic, but we are talking about this week. I don't care if you want to talk about something else. Talking about this week. So, class, the two of you that aren't paying attention, when do we want to take our test? My goal would obviously be that it would be like a one-day test that we could get through. That doesn't always happen, but notice that your column has the least amount of things planned because I have no idea what you guys want to do. So I assume the test is not going to be today because I didn't figure you would want, and I wrote in the notes yesterday for the sub, we won't take the test today, so I'm committed to that. But when do you want to take it? We will circle back to closure before then, and I assume that would be most purposeful to do the day before the test. Or even just say, if we circle back to closure on Thursday and then got to a point of like, okay, we're comfortable with everything, we can start the test on Thursday with whatever time is left, and then spend all of Friday on it. Or tell me if you want a different day. But that was what made sense in my head.
Do you guys want to do a review of the closure tomorrow? Then I'll take the test on Thursday if you don't finish you on Friday.
Well, I don't want to budget that many. That's 3 days versus I'm looking to budget 2 days for closure and the test.
Okay, we could
circle back to
start
closure.
the closure on Thursday and then do the test.
I mean, you guys should already be most of the way done with closure. Just some questions.
I have like 2 problems left.
So, review closure.
And then start a test, and then Friday we finish.
Friday we finish closure tomorrow.
No. Thursday. We will review closure, start the test. I will want your closure turned in Friday, and hopefully we'll finish the test Friday. So Thursday will give you the opportunity to look at what's on the test and also say, like, ooh, crap, I need to study that.
Oh,
that's good.
Okay, so now switching gears to what Sammy wanted to talk about, the Math 1 end of course assessment. You probably all got an email from Mrs. Tecklenburg, because she's fantastic, about the fact that we will be taking the Math 1 end of course at some random point. How that's going to work here is Miss Rosie, our test coordinator, will probably have a room in the office sectioned off is my best guess. And on just like some random day, hopefully I can get it planned out with her to not impact the 8th grade schedule very much. You'll just probably get pulled from Foundations Creative Start, just to take that time in less class time. You just take the end of course exam for Ohio, like for Math 1, and assuming you don't fail it, which is almost impossible for people of your knowledge set, yes, you just keep on keeping on. It is a formality.
Wait, isn't it like out of like 5 or something?
I cannot answer any specific. Every test has its own scoring system. It's all like I don't keep track.
Do you know about when it's gonna be?
December, right? The winter.
I don't know. What did the email say?
The winter.
The window is opening like this week or something. It is all about like when you have to get it done by. I can check with Miss Rosie and we can try to like look at what would be best. I can talk with you guys again about it.
The test is just
I got the same email you got. That was the first information I got, just like you. So this has happened before. It's really low key. Kids always come in and they're like, that was really easy, because you've already learned like a quarter of Math 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've been in Math 2 for a whole quarter, and you're going to go back and take the Math 1 test. It should be
Why can't
easy.
we always do that?
Yeah, right?
So much easier.
Just always take your classes over the summer.
Wait, but there is no math 3 in the summer.
You are correct. All right, what other general questions, concerns, quandaries, queries?
Oh wait, so will the test, the test, what was it called? End of math 1 test.
End of course is what they're called.
Is it like sort of like the test we took at the end of the summer course?
No, that one was written by Mrs. Tecklenburg and myself. The end of course assessment is like all those, like what you normally take in the spring.
Okay.
So what you've heard as PARC or AIR or whatever other name, acronym it has been called, not math. That's different. Math is measure of academic progress. That's a separate test. Math does not. So math does not impact anything dealing with you passing courses or anything like that. It is just a measure of where you're at. The end of course exam is a hoop you have to jump through for the state of Ohio to say, I took this course and I should know most of these things by now. The only impact it really has is, I mean, it's a score that goes in your file, I guess, of you as a student, and it allows you to continue moving forward. That's the biggest thing. Technically, you're not supposed to be in Math 2 until you pass the EOC for Math 1. But because of test windows, when we offer courses in the summer, there is no test window open until now. So there was no way to have you take the test. Now, if you fail it, we'll have to put you back in Math 1.
I doubt that.
That has never happened. So a student that has taken summer Math 1 for the 5 years we've been doing this, that has never, actually maybe more, it's never happened.
Never.
Because
Never.
we're already learning.
Never.
We're already learning like
Look,
math too.
I guarantee, knowing you guys, you'll all be fine. Guarantee it.
Because we already started math too. Like we.
Yeah, but it's
I know
still
your
math
math
1.
skills. Okay, what other random questions or whatever, or can we start? We now have only a half hour left. I'm trying to get there.
We go on a bunch of
Good
tangents.
job.
Anything else before we move back to my offer of lunch? Okay, especially because you guys go to lunch after my class. I have a planning period after your class. It would be easy for us to share a lunch together. So, here is your task. The Factory of Functions of America has just hired you. You are their new Parabola manager. So,
Parabola manager. That
Yeah.
sounds like overly cool.
So here is a letter from Miss Frida Function about your new product line. I have heard that while lines and exponential curves are very popular, there is a new craze in Europe to have U-shaped designs. I recently visited Paris and Milan to discovered that we are behind the times. Please investigate this new function, which is called a quadratic function. The equation of a quadratic function can be written in this form, and the U-shaped graph is called a parabola. I'd like a full report, here's your task, at the end of today with any information your team can give me about parabolas. Spare no detail. I'd like to know everything you can tell me about the features of these graphs. I'd also like to know about any special points on a parabola or any patterns that exist in its table. So we will be using tables. Do not whine and complain and ask me if we're using tables. I will not answer that question. A table will be convenient to help you recognize patterns. Remember, the company is only as good as its employees. Your research is essential for the success of our new product line.
Isn't that like the when you describe it? Isn't that like the x-intercepts? If it has any y, like the intercepts, what like?
So an easy one I will start you with. So let's read this first and then I can scroll down. Your team is not assigned a specific quadratic. You're one team and you're assigned all of them. Investigate all of these functions. Yeah, they all relate to each other. Use tables, graphs, and equations to describe them completely. So my advice is split them up. Each of you take one and then come together and talk with each other. So, like, if I claim B, right, I'm part of your team.
Oh, you are?
Well, for the moment. because then in a moment I'm going to have you work and then be ready to come present to me at either the end of this class or the beginning of next class, which right now we have under 30 minutes, so it's looking probably more like yesterday, or more like tomorrow. Sorry, yesterday got me all goofed up. So, if I chose B, right, I'm like, hey guys, I got B, B's my function, I'll come back to you with my reporting. I would draw a graph of it on my paper, showing that that parabola has flipped and has a y-intercept of 4. I would also make a table on my paper, defending why the points on the parabola are where they are, and showing some behavior between the outputs that I wouldn't know without making a table. Like I could say, well, these go up and then these go down, but how? Right? I could factor the equation to show some things about, well, if I use the factors, I know blah. I can really do anything I can think of. If it's a perfect square equation or a difference of squares equation, I can identify that and what that tells me. This looks to be a difference of squares, right? Because it has no b value. So in me solving for part B, I could bring up the fact it has no b value because of this, and explain that to you guys. And also those factored form that show that it's a difference of squares gives me another piece of information that I should show in the graph. X-intercepts. So, do we have any questions about what we're doing? Essentially, each of you are going to pick a parabola, not the same one as somebody else, and show. Now, hold on. We will random select who can claim what. Leanne, questions?
So for the no calculator part, can we still do like basic math and just no graphing?
Or we can't use our calculator?
I don't even care if you use a calculator, although you have to have a table. So why it's saying no calculator is if I want to make you make the graph, as opposed to just graphing the graph, you'd make a table, right? You'd use a table to then make the graph. You can graph the graph if you want, but you still have to use a table. So let's say so Athena's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Random generate numbers between 1 and 5. Who gets to claim first? It's 3. David, you get to claim first.
I want B.
Nope. I already took B.
But you're not our
Nope.
We're fine. Let me see. I get A.
Sure. David has A. Our next one to pick? Sophia? F? F. Okay. Sammy?
I'll take D.
D. Okay.
I mean,
Why not?
Liang? C. And Athena, what do you want? Say E. Okay, so we have David, Liang, Athena, Sammy. Everyone know what they've got?
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Well, you should make it.
So A, who's got? I did B. C is Athena. Who's C? Liang C. D is Sammy, and E is Athena. Yeah.
David's David.
So I would take a few minutes on your own. Actually, I would say let's try to go 5 minutes with just no talking, just so you have time to work it yourself. Now, using your Chromebook or your graphing calculator, you can justify and defend things that you may think. You may do the math, and as always, be careful squaring on the graphing calculator with positives and negatives and things like that. It's all about how you type it in, is really what it comes down to. chair I got so I can stop sitting on a broken table.
Yeah. Where did you put the table?
It's gone. I mean, it's broken.
Did you break it?
No, but it's not safe. And I started to get worried if a kid like actually knocked it off and it fell on somebody, that'd be really because it was super heavy. So I decided it's probably not the best thing for in a classroom.
At least you actually have a chair now.
All right, sorry, I broke that. But let's try to go 5 minutes on our own before we come back to